Hello, welcome everyone. Thanks for liking my videos and subscribing to my channel. I do appreciate it. Today's another Villages news video. I ran across an article in the villages-news.com and I found it to be very interesting. The title of the article is "The CEO of SECO Energy offers blunt assessment of the future of energy in the villages." SECO Energy is a cooperative energy company that supplies most of the residents in the villages electricity/power. Let's take a walk and take a deeper dive and talk about this. Stay tuned, friends. Here I am, standing in Mactan Island in Cebu, Philippines, standing underneath a power pole that supports electrical wires that transmits energy and power to the residents of Cebu, Philippines. And that is the nature of the article today. The nature of the article is about electricity and power transmission and distribution. I will read the villages-news.com article to you, and then I will offer my opinion. Thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. Feel free to share the video with anybody that you think is interested. The title of the news article is the SECO chair offers blunt assessment of the future of the energy in the villages. The chairman of the board for SECO Energy has bluntly stated the cooperative would love to be out of the light pole business. Light poles are the power poles that transmit the electricity. In the energy world, light poles are part of the transmission component of the power grid. Most power companies have three major divisions. They have a generation division. Those are the assets that produce electricity, like coal-fired power plants, maybe natural gas-fired power plants. They have transmission, which are the electrical wires and the light poles. And they have distribution. So there's three major components to the energy industry. What we're talking about here would be the transmission portion. And the article continues, for many months, community development districts have been locked in a battle over huge increases in pole rental rates, announced quite suddenly last year by SECO. The increases could mean the CDDs would have to dig heavily into their reserves to pay for the increases. The news last summer sent supervisors in District 2 and District 7 scrambling for alternatives, including buying or erecting their own power poles or going solar. You never seen a power pole that looks like that in America, did you? That is part of the Philippines transmission system. They just wrap lots of wires on a pole. And the news article continues. There had been some relief when it was announced that SECO had secured a $100 million grant that could offset the increase in pole rentals. However, after President Trump was sworn in on January 20th, his administration called for an abrupt end to such grants. While residents have largely ignored the looming crisis that would impact a large swath of the villages, in the end, they would be paying for the pole rental increases. So apparently, The energy transmission company, whoever that is, and I will tell you that later in the article, has decided to increase the transmission rates for the SECO customers. And in most cases, if you look at your electricity, your utility bill, that utility bill will be broken down into several components. One component will be the energy cost, one component will be the transmission cost, and the other component will be the distribution cost. So apparently, SECO is looking to increase the transmission component of the utility bills. Gerald Anderson, a villager who serves as chairman of the Board of Trustees, appeared this last week before the District Number 2 Board of Supervisors at Savannah Center. He offered a frank and somewhat surprising assessment of the situation. He says, "We are in the business of selling electricity. We would love to be out of the light pole business." He explained while at the podium, the SECO chair had been invited to the meeting by Supervisor Tom Swires, who has been researching the pole rental crisis. Supervisor Jim Saponi said he fears the residents are going to be hit hard if the CDDs are suddenly handed the daunting responsibility for ownership and maintenance of the light poles. My only comment there is, why on earth would any of the CDD Board of Supervisors even consider getting into the energy transmission business by owning light poles? The residents are going to revolt, the article continues. Swires made a motion for District Number 2 to buy 82 light poles in its district. His motion was greeted by a long, awkward silence and eventually died for lack of a second, which makes a lot of sense. Not only are you buying light poles, but you're also buying the liability and responsibility to maintain those light poles, maybe even the transmission wires. Maybe they have transformers on the light poles, who knows? Why would any district want to get into the energy transmission business is beyond me. There are lots of companies across America who specialize in electricity and power transmission. The community development district should not be one of them. So that is pretty much the end of the article. And in summary, I cannot believe that the districts are considering buying light poles from the energy company. I'm going to now read you an article that I found on the SECO Energy website. And for those that don't know, SECO Energy is an energy cooperative. They are located, I believe, in Bushnell, Florida, which is on the southern edge of the Villages. They are located very near the village of Fenney. They are an energy cooperative, and I will read you from their website what kind of organization they are. This is found in the About Us section of the SECO Energy website. SECO Energy is a not-for-profit electric cooperative providing reliable, safe, and affordable electricity service to over 240,000 members, or roughly 500,000 consumers. Our 7 Central Florida counties include Citrus, Hernando, Lake County, Levy, Marion, Pasco, and Sumter County. SECO Energy is the 3rd largest electric co-op in Florida and the 7th largest in the nation. One of the most important distinctions between other types of utilities and SECO is that they are member-owned. Their members have a voice in the co-op's decision-making process. SECO's wholesale power provider is Seminole Electric Cooperative, Inc., one of the largest generation and transmission cooperatives in the nation, serving 1.9 million consumers in Florida. Seminole is owned by 9 electric distribution cooperatives, and SECO Energy is one of those 9 member owners. So what that tells me is that those power poles are most likely owned by SECO itself or SECO's wholesale supplier, Seminole. So the rates for distribution are going to be controlled by SECO or by its wholesale supplier, Seminole Cooperative. So these people have complete control in the rates. And what does that mean for the villages? What that means is, as far as I know, there's still energy marketing companies across America. And one of the things the district boards need to be investigating is potentially outsourcing and finding a new supplier for their electric energy. You can buy electric energy from any energy marketer in America. I know I used to work for one in Wisconsin. We sold energy all across America. We sold it in Canada. We sold it to wholesale energy companies. We sold it to commercial companies. And we even sold it to residential consumers. My advice to any of the district board is to potentially look at working with your purchasing director. Her name is Melissa Shar. She works for the district government. She should be able to go and get bids for other energy providers. Those bids will not only include the energy, but the distribution and transmission as well. So that is one way that you can look at potentially rectifying the problem, is just to get more bids. Just go out and get bids. People don't understand that energy is a competitive industry, and there's more than one energy company around the United States. Maybe they can't negotiate on the transmission prices, but maybe they can find an energy marketer that will offset the increase in transmission by having lower power prices. That's my point. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. I do appreciate it. Leave comments below what you think. But I will leave you with these final thoughts. Number one, this is to the District Board of Supervisors in any and all districts. Do not entertain the idea of getting into the power transmission business by buying power poles. You're biting off more than you can chew. Number two, work with your purchasing director, Melissa Shar. I'm sure she would be more than happy to potentially send out bids and quotes and requests for quotations for other energy marketers to see if they can lower the energy costs that might offset the increase in transmission costs. Thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. And on a side note, my home is served by SECO Energy. They are a very good energy company. The energy and the power rarely goes out in the villages. When it does go out, it comes back online in a short period of time. I've never experienced a brownout, only a power outage on occasion. Probably once a year, once or twice a year, you'll experience a power outage, and that's usually due to an accident. There you have it, friends, my opinion on the energy crisis in the villages. And there you have Manny Pacquiao running for senator here in the Philippines. Everybody vote Manny Pacquiao for senator. Have a good day, everyone. Take care.